What is going on, YouTube and Spotify and everybody else listening? We are back for another episode of the Double Switch podcast. Johnny, have you ever heard of that song by Green Day? I think it goes "Wake Me Up When September Ends,"
I
because
have.
that is totally me right now, dude. I am so not ready to deal with this roller coaster that's going to be this September for the Phillies. I'm sure it's going to have plenty of highs. But there's going to be, those moments where there's just gut punches, and it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot for me to handle, especially when we haven't had to deal with the tension like this in a while. So that's me, Johnny. How are you doing lately?
I would also like to be woken up at September's end. Last night kind of freaked me out. I happened to stay up a little bit later, getting ahead on some work, and Ranger. I don't know what happened. It just the wheels fell off, and I saw a lot of people starting to signal this is our September collapse, but I don't believe in that quite yet. But a little discouraged after last night, but just a little.
Yeah, those West Coast games are always weird because I'm not a fake fan or anything, but I just tune out when they go out there because we're in the working class now. We have to wake up early, go to work. I can't really stay up and watch those games anymore like I used to when I was a kid. So I kind of just miss it. I saw the first couple innings and I thought, things are going good. Fell asleep soundly knowing that the Phils had a very good chance to win. And I woke up and I had to do a double take at the score because I couldn't believe that the wheels fell off that fast. It felt kind of familiar in some weird, sick way, but I'm hoping it's not a sign of things to come.
Yeah, I think you speak for every Philly fan out there. And we don't want this to be a sign of things to come. Hopefully they respond tonight and get back to playing the baseball they have been, beating all the bad teams. Hopefully it's a one-off.
Yeah, speaking of those bad teams, we saw a lot of them this week. Those that Reds team and the Pirates, those guys are brutal, and I feel bad for the fans watching their teams. And you can throw the Nats in there too. It's got to be rough being a fan of those teams right now because it's been a rough season for them. Fortunately for us, we've kind of handled everybody that we're supposed to be handling right now. Took 6 out of 7. Nice homestand. A lot of stuff ended up happening. We'll start off earlier in the week, right after the Reds series. We'll just dive right in here. Zack Wheeler placed on the IL. You see that coming?
I think I didn't. I thought it was something he was going to work through, but whenever the velocity dips to the level it did, kind of like you called out the past episode, something's wrong. So you weren't very surprised. What are you thinking about Zack Wheeler right now?
I think last year took a toll on him. A lot of innings last year. There's very few pitchers in the game that can just throw up 200 innings every year. I feel like Sandy Alcantara is one of them. Aaron Nola is one of them. Just rubber arms. I don't know if Zack Wheeler is one of them. It was a big year for him in terms of the innings workload. It was definitely the most he's ever pitched in the league so far. We might be seeing some side effects of that, and might be some dead arm. I don't know. The reports that came out of it afterwards seemed pretty optimistic. Zach seemed pretty optimistic. Dombrowski. Apparently he could have pitched. I don't know what that means exactly. I guess it's just like a rest IL stint. And if it is that, that's pretty good news for everybody.
They said the same thing about Sir Anthony, that he probably could have pitched through it, but they felt it was a optimal time to get him rest. And my concern is that we're not hearing. It's just the tip of the iceberg, and that a lot of our pitchers are. We haven't been shy to make our starters go deep into games this year. And my concern is that a lot more than just Zack Wheeler and Sir Anthony Dominguez are dealing with like that dead arm time of the year. And a lot of them are just working through it and not being as effective.
Yeah, you go up and down this roster. There's really not a pitcher who I'm not kind of thinking about that with. I mean, Aaron Nola is probably the exception. I think we just let Aaron Nola go. He seems to, he's a workhorse. But I mean, even the bullpen, Robertson had the injuries. He's coming back from something, so you got to have that in the back of your head. Some of the arms, Sir Anthony, you mentioned Ranger, career high in innings. I think he just eclipsed it. If he didn't, he will next start. These are all important things to remember when you're thinking about the stretch run. A lot of teams have to go through this. It's going to be interesting to see how the Phillies kind of handle it. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's just a phantom IL stint. This is a pretty common strategy with the Dodgers. I know the Dodgers are renowned for this whole just throw a guy on the injured list and let him rest because we're going to be in the postseason. We're going to need him then. We're not the Dodgers, nothing's for sure here, but we're in a very comfortable position. I'd rather have some guys at full strength than kind of just, throw them out there and hope for the best. And I think that's probably the strategy that we're going to see going forward. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. I think that be the best way to go about it.
Yeah, the depth too is different this year because last year we kind of had to rely on Zack Wheeler to go out there every fifth day. We have some arms now. Gibson's a workhorse. Thor's obviously dependable at the back end of the rotation. Bailey Falter and Christopher Sanchez too make up the rest of the rotation. Spot starts here and then. What'd you see from those two this week with their spot starts coming up? I believe Falter was against the Pirates, and I don't remember who Sanchez ended up facing. Did he also face the Pirates, or was he against the Reds?
He was against the Reds, I believe.
Yeah, they both threw up quality starts. Do you see anything from them that leads you to believe that we should keep throwing them out there like that?
Yeah, I like what I see from Bailey Falter. I think he has gotten a lot more confident pitching in the big leagues, and I think his out pitches have gotten a lot better. But as far as Christopher Sanchez, I'm not sold. He's very raw, and his control concerns me.
Did you see him pitch yesterday in the Reds in the D-backs game?
Yeah, I have a sour taste in my mouth from watching him.
Did you see anything differently?
I didn't catch all of the disastrous fifth inning, but so I saw him get out of the fourth inning pretty cleanly, and then I saw him start walking some folks. But I was drifting off into sleep, so I'm not sure what was the issue.
Yeah, I don't know, but fortunately he fills out the rotation all the way at the end. He's the seventh guy on this staff. So as long as one guy's missing, we can kind of fill it in with Bailey, who's looked really good lately. He seems to stay calm, seems to have a nice demeanor out there, and seems to be able to limit hard contact. I don't know. I don't know what Bailey Falter's ceiling is, but I'm comfortable throwing him out there for the rest of the year. Fortunately, though, we might not have to. The news is good on Zack Wheeler, and as far as I know, September 6th is when he'll be back. I'm pretty sure everybody's confident in that. Are you seeing anything differently?
I didn't look at too many reports, but from what I saw, September 6th looks like the date. I wasn't as optimistic as most when I heard the news. I thought everyone was kind of sugarcoating it, making it sound a little better. But yeah, I guess maybe it was just a phantom IL stint, and maybe he'll be ready to go next. What's that? 2 weeks from now? Not even 8 days.
8 days. Yeah. So I guess that puts him.
Sounds right.
Yeah. Next Wednesday. I don't know.
Have you heard about Zach Eflin?
Coming back in a bullpen role, possibly? Is that what you're seeing with him?
Yeah, they say he's feeling really, really good right now, but they don't think they're going to be able to stretch him out into a starter's role. But I think that works out right now because of we don't have Knebel or Dominguez at the moment, and he could fill like a Knebel-esque role. But like I've never seen him as a bullpen type stuff guy.
Yeah, he brings a little something different to the table than Corey Knebel. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know how his stuff's going to translate to the bullpen or his routine. That's big when you talk about pitchers like that. I wish that he had the time to stretch himself out because, I mean, in a playoff series, I'd rather him go than Gibby or Thor. I just think that, the downside with him seems to be a little less. Even when he's bad, he's somewhat effective. So I wish he could stretch himself out. But, yeah, I don't know. If you get in a game like yesterday, starting pitcher gets pulled early, stuff's not going well. There is kind of a hole there. Nick Nelson's kind of been filling the role. He's been pretty good, a little less effective lately. Christopher Sanchez is also down there, but I mean, Zach Eflin's the best option for multiple innings if you need them out of the bullpen, and that might end up being a weapon late in the year, especially when you start thinking about innings and the starters trying to control those innings. You can yank someone a little earlier than you usually would, maybe 60, 70 pitches, and have Eflin go 3 or 4, and it's a good plan. I like it.
Yeah, no, Eflin definitely fits more of like a rhythmic role. He's not. He's never been like a 1-inning type of guy. Like, we all know how he works. Like, once he gets in his groove, he works quick. And yeah, he really could like eat like a lot of innings as a middle reliever type pitcher. I'm interested to see, I'm excited for him to come back. I know I've given him some hard times on this podcast, but the way things are going with some of these arms, it would be a blessing to get him back.
Yeah, definitely some quality support there. Sir Anthony also on his way back. Things don't appear to be too serious with him. I think a lot of his problems are also, the injury last year, and I don't think he's really built up to a full-time 70-inning-a-year reliever type role yet. Maybe next year he will be, but, we're kind of only worried about the now. This gave him some nice rest, and, we need him back because he's the best pitcher in this bullpen. So,
without a doubt, yeah, he's our guy.
Yeah, can't wait for Sir Anthony. But, yeah, back to this week. Bryce returned on Friday. I was there. It was awesome, standing ovation. Everybody was thrilled to see him. And we ended up throttling the Pirates for to continue our win streak, push it to 5 games. It's good to have Bryce back, just the presence that he brings to the lineup. It's something that, you really can't quantify what he brings to this team, but everybody's going to get better with him being back. And it's just something that it's an intangible that he brings that it's awesome. And it's going to be much needed during the stretch run. Plugged him into the cleanup spot, actually kept Bohm in the 3-hole. I was surprised by that. I thought they put Bryce back at 3. Were you expecting that?
I guess I think I looked at it pretty funny at first, but when you think about it, like, Bryce Harper is a more versatile guy when it comes to driving and runs than Alec Bohm. Alec Bohm, I mean, because you take Alec Bohm out of the 3-hole, where do you put him?
5.
That's a good spot for JT, though.
JT goes to 4 if Bryce goes back to 3.
I think I like it the way it is more.
Yeah.
I think we have. I know JT's been red hot, but I still think Alec Bohm's a better natural hitter.
I'm very comfortable with Alec Bohm in the 3 spot, and it's growing on me kind of every day. I think he's kind of developed into it's a weird kind of consistency. He goes from very good, as in, he'll bat high 300s, flash the power, and then he cools off, but he still sprays the ball all over the field. It's not one of those. He's not one of those hitters where you wait for him to go 0 for 20, like some of the other bats in this lineup, Schwarber, Hoskins. They can go on cold streaks, and Bohm doesn't really do that. He brings some stability that's very useful in that type of role, especially batting in front of Bryce. Bryce is if Bohm's not on, he's moving runners over. He's setting up the rest of this lineup very well, and I keep him there for hopefully the next 6 years that he's in Philadelphia. Maybe that's his new spot.
Yeah, why not? I mean, if he takes it and runs with it, then it's his to have. But that reminds me, though, you're talking about how Alec Bohm, when he's hot, His slugging percentage is up, but when he's cold, it's just good. He's spraying it. I think I'm starting to see the same thing with Nick Castellanos, because there was the midsummer where he was like good, and all he was doing is like taking it the other way, little loopers into the outfield, and now we're starting to see the same thing with him. Now that he's kind of red hot, he's just really hitting the ball like out in front of himself. A lot of balls to center field. Both of them, they've when they're on, they're really just nailing line drives to center field.
Now that you mention it, if you average out who they are as players, they're pretty similar players, actually. Nick kind of has a better grasp on his power, but they're big. They're big bats with excellent contact skills. Both should probably hit for more power. Both, they're 800s OPS guy when everything settles. I know Bohm's a little lower now. And both probably don't walk as much as they should for how good of hitters they are. Yeah, that's a weird parallel that I haven't heard before. But yeah, you're definitely right about that.
Yeah, they both do strike out a good amount.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird considering how well they can make contact and put the ball in play. Actually, Bohm's probably a little better than Castellanos at that, but very similar profiles.
Yeah, I mean, if we have two of those guys playing the same level of baseball, I'd be completely happy going forward.
Yeah, definitely. So that was Friday. Ended up winning Friday. Saturday, same deal. Nothing crazy. I guess we should mention Aaron Nola's shutout. I just skipped right over that.
Yeah, why not?
Awesome game by Nola. It's against the Reds. I get that. That team's just not good, but what a workhorse Aaron Nola has become.
What do you have? 11 strikeouts?
11 strikeouts. He has. I don't want to mess up this number. 22 walks and 26 starts.
That is unheard of.
That's Roy Halladay type numbers, Cliff Lee type numbers. I mean, go ahead.
Well, you just don't see guys in 2022 doing that. Like, that's just not a thing anymore. Guys walk batters because everyone's throwing these wipeout sliders that aren't that controllable and they don't have command on them. But Nola can control every single pitch he has, and it's admirable. And when I was watching that game, I know I say it a lot, but I'm just so glad we get to watch Aaron Nola on the Phillies right now. We are so lucky to be watching him. He'll go down as a top 5 pitcher on the Phillies in Phillies history. If we re-sign him, we better.
Yeah, you're talking about 5 opening day starts. He's gonna. I mean, you're already looking. He's approaching 1,000 innings, 1,000 strikeouts. An absolutely awesome pitcher and just a model of consistency. I know that his numbers weren't awesome last year, but the underlying stats said he was really good. They always have. He's always been a really consistent pitcher, and the one big thing that's going to change for him is when he kind of puts that September collapse narrative behind him. I know we've done some research on that, and there's a lot that is exaggerated about Nola's September issues. I think so 2019 and 2021 were the 2 bad years. 2019 was really weird, just a really strange September for him. I think that was definitely one of the worst months of his career. Struggled with control. Things kind of fell apart. That was probably the worst collapse out of the bunch. If you ask me, the worst of the September collapses, because was that the August we were leading the NL East in August 2019?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So
because that was the year of the Nationals.
Yeah. So that was kind of the first sign of him not being a big September pitcher. But I mean, I looked at the stats last year. Babbitt was in the 350s last September for him. Everything else looked good. Kane, everybody straight, not walking anybody. All the expected stats looked fine. It leads me to believe that last year was largely a fluke. 2019 he was just bad, but I mean, the other 2 seasons, he had 3.5s, 3.6 ERA. I don't think there's anything to that September Nola collapse thing, and I'm really hoping that he can show us this September because we've already seen a couple of times in his career where he comes up really big on a big stage, big viewership games against the Mets earlier this season, a couple of weeks ago. Huge performance out of him, and his stuff's going to translate pretty well to anybody we face. It's just a matter of him, staying on the right mental side of that and knowing that he is a very good pitcher, and there's nothing to that September problem that people consider him to be having.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head with that. It's a narrative he's going to put to bed. I'm sticking to that. I think if he has been the most talented Philly on this team for the longest time, I think he is the most ready to get to the playoffs, and I think he's going to pitch like he wants to be in the playoffs. And I don't think we have anything to worry about this September with him.
If you had to guess as of now, would he have an ERA over or under 3.5 in September?
Under.
I'd go under 2, and I don't even have to hesitate to think about it. I think he's just going to keep on rolling like he has all season, and it's honestly – it might be the best I've ever seen him look, with the exception of his insane 2018 season. This is off track, but I kind of hate how when things are bad, people kind of just point to the oldest thing first. It's something that I've noticed that when teams have issues, they kind of just resort to whatever's been there the longest. I think Aaron Nola has taken some of that heat because he's been here for a long time. Reese as well. It's not necessarily their fault that all of these problems have happened. They've obviously been the common denominator, but I'm just venting right now. That has nothing to do with anything. Aaron Nola, September, good September coming up. Count on it. After that, Saturday, nothing really crazy happened. Flat Sunday, just a whole lot of nothing. Nice regression game for Noah Syndergaard, who you and I are still not bought in on. I know he started 4-0. That also included a 5-inning rain cancellation game, so I don't know how much that actually means.
I don't know. I'm really not sure how Noah Syndergaard already won over some Philly fans. Like how? What has he really done except for pitch just average baseball?
I think it's a lot of people who haven't seen him in a long time. Last time they saw him, he was throwing like 100 for the Mets in 2016. I'd imagine not many Phillies fans were watching him out in Los Angeles. It's really, really lame how he's been getting it done. It's almost astounding how little swing and miss batters have against him. He is a complete pitch to contact pitcher now. It's a high risk profile and something that I definitely don't like hearing. His other start, he had, I think it was 2 swinging strikes the whole game. Like you're throwing 100 pitches and we lost you there for a sec. No, he threw 100 pitches and 2 swinging strikes the whole game. That he's not fooling anybody.
No, and that type of pitching does not hold up against the Dodgers, the Mets, the Braves, the teams that destroy any pitch in the strike zone. Any pitch that's not on a corner, that's not painting the black. It worries me because right now I see that we have 3 pitchers that pitch like that. We have A, Noah Syndergaard, B, Kyle Gibson, and C, Zack Eflin. And Ranger Suarez, after last night, he's like on a seesaw right now from being in the top half of the rotation or in the bottom half of the rotation. I can't tell which one he is. What type of pitcher is Ranger Suarez?
Will the real Ranger Suarez please stand up?
Driving me nuts.
No, I don't know. If you had to pick one pitcher from our staff that you're most concerned about right now, who would it be? Not like an individual, like just big picture. Who are you not 100% comfortable with right now? Who would be at the top of your list?
Zack Wheeler.
With that forearm injury, you go Zack Wheeler.
Yeah, because I mean, we saw it in like some of those starts. Like without his velocity, he is not an elite pitcher. It's not like, yes, he is pretty precise with his location, but I mean 94, 95 on the corner is not the same as like a 98 on the corner.
I agree. I wouldn't go the Wheeler route. I'd probably go the Ranger route because his season's a long way from being over. He's starting to lose kind of his touch. I think his command in the zone is kind of wavering. And the past couple starts, it feels like he gets into this game and things kind of start to go downhill a little bit. We're both kind of exaggerating because in the grand scheme of things, both these pitchers' season lines look completely fine, but we have some really important games coming up, and everybody needs to be at the top of their game for sure. And Ranger needs to be able to work deeper into the games with this innings ceiling that he's hit already. We're kind of going into uncharted territory here with Ranger. A lot of pitchers, they kind of fall off a cliff when they get to that point because their arm's just not built up. So we're really in uncharted waters now with Ranger.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see what Ranger's made of this next month and a half. But yeah, I mean, like his numbers to this point and Wheeler's numbers to this point, like they don't matter. I mean, maybe in the years past when we just wanted a participation trophy because we weren't a good baseball team, we would take the individual accolades, like be rooting for Zack Wheeler's Cy Young or Harper's MVP, but like none of us care. Like I honestly don't care like what your average is, how many home runs you have, how many wins can you get this team. Like that's all that matters anymore.
You're right, and it's a weird feeling. It's just a feeling that we haven't felt in a long time. But let's take a step back here.
Sure.
Everything's okay. We're still
Yeah,
firmly in this wild card race, and we're not even in September yet. I think this team's resilient, and I think we're in good shape going down the stretch. We need to definitely turn things around in Arizona right now. The weirdest teams end up having owning us. The Rangers are one of them. The D-backs, we can't win there for just anything. But we need to now. We need to definitely change that up and take 2 out of 3 against this D-backs team that's kind of better than people think. They're definitely not in the tier of the Reds, Pirates, Nats, but they have a couple pieces. Zach Gallen's the piece tonight. If you're listening to this, probably the piece yesterday. Good pitcher. It's kind of like a pitcher we're going to end up seeing if we ever get to the playoffs. So good test tonight. Aaron Nola, good test for him coming off that big start. See how he bounces back and see if he can kind of keep it going. But no, I think we're kind of in cruise control right now. Just keep things calm, under control, get everybody healthy, win the games you're supposed to, and kind of figure it out from there. A lot of these guys are figuring out how to win in September for the first time. Fortunately, there's some guys here who have done that before. Kyle Schwarber mainly. Kind of just Kyle Schwarber. But,
yeah.
Still, that's huge. I think he's going to definitely help the team down the stretch and, keep the morale up and everybody's heads on their shoulders. It's just baseball, just like any other game.
Yeah, no, it's all about responding. And I think we have an offense that will respond. And while some of these arms are getting healthy, I think we have an offense that can put the team on the back for like a week. I think we do have a bad stretch. I don't think. I mean, you look at the next week and a half, teams below 500. So this is the time. We're going to see a lot of pitchers that should probably be in AAA. We're probably were in AAA at some point this season. And I think it's time to rake.
I hear you. We have 2 more against the D-backs, and we go to San Francisco. Those Giants are a pesky group. Might be facing some good pitchers there. I don't know who they have lining up, but they have Carlos Rodon, Logan Webb, some good arms. Another good test, but, that's nothing we can't handle, nothing we haven't seen before.
Topper's not going to let the boys lose to Kepler. No way.
Man, I would love to just sweep Kepler in San Francisco because so far he's kind of just gotten the better end of the stick with us. Haven't really been able to beat him, but now would be a better time than ever to start.
Yeah, and kind of just completely – I mean, I think their playoff hopes are already kind of squashed the way things look right now. But getting swept by a team in the wild card race would really be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, definitely. Giants are out. Padres still a game or two back from us.
Yes.
Not 100% sure what's happening with that team. They're weird. They have talent. Josh Hader is just completely broken. Like he's just a full-on disaster now. I'm pretty sure Alec Bohm and Matt Vierling literally broke Josh Hader.
If you told me that at the beginning of the year that Matt Vierling and Alec Bohm were going to break Josh Hader, I'd be like, shut up, dude. Like, that sounds stupid.
No, he's completely forgot how to get people out.
He's on my fantasy team, man. I get it.
Yeah, he's legitly droppable now. He's been god-awful. And I kind of wonder about the morale with both these teams chasing us because the Padres, they lost their best player. Actually, he's not their best player anymore. Fernando Tatis, huge part of their team. They were expecting, that jolt of energy to come back and kind of carry them to the promised land. He's not doing that. He's out for the season, obviously. Everybody knows. And you kind of just got to wonder how they're going to bounce back from that. It's got to be tough. Just imagine him, just imagine how you would react if, Bryce Harper, we were waiting for him to get back from that DL stint, and he came out and, he was suspended for the rest of the season. It's just a tough thing to deal with, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
I'm not a Padres fan, but
like that's their guy. They all fell in love with him. They gave him a pretty big contract, if I remember. Do you remember how big that one was?
It's one of the 300 million ones.
Yeah, I believe it was like 14 million or something, or 14 years something. But that's besides the point. But they're lucky to have. They're no slouch still. Manny Machado is having an under the radar year, believe it or not. You don't hear enough about him, but he should get MVP votes. He is absolutely raking, and he plays a great defense. It's good to see Manny playing good ball this year, even though I'm not rooting for the Padres.
Yeah, and Juan Soto, obviously. Juan Soto, Josh Bell. There's still weapons there, and they're definitely still a threat. But them and the Brewers, who I think we talked about it already, trade away their star closer. I know that the team, some of the guys in the clubhouse weren't thrilled when that happened. It kind of makes you wonder how much that's affecting them because both teams have been playing pretty badly. Kind of makes you wonder if the soul of both those teams are kind of down on themselves just because of, everything that's unfolded. It's something that we kind of have to take advantage of. We just have to want it more than them at this point. And we're in a good position now. But, yeah, no, it's just something that I've wondered about just watching those teams play because they do not look good. The product they're putting out right now is definitely, if you ask them, they're not playing as well as they should be. I don't know. It's very interesting.
Yeah, that is very interesting. Josh, it reminds me that today is our first segment of Trivia Tuesday with the Double Switch, a new segment we're bringing to you. All right, we're going to start this off, and I'm going to be asking Josh 3 trivia questions today. We're going to see how many of the 3 he can get correct, and then next week the roles will be reversed, and I'll see how many of Josh's questions I can get.
We should have a tally for whoever gets the most questions right.
Yeah, I like that.
And let's put something on it.
Okay, you want like money or like an actual bet?
Wasn't an actual bet money.
Well, it could be like shave your head or like dye your hair yellow.
No, that's not the direction I was thinking. Why don't we do Let's just do a game next year. Let's just the loser. It was the other, or just buys tickets for a game.
All right. Yeah. There we go.
All right. Cool.
All right.
I'm ready when you are.
All right. In 1979, who did the Phillies make the highest paid player in baseball? A. Greg Luzinski. B. Steve Carlton. C. Pete Rose. Or D. Michael Jack Schmidt.
All right. So now I know they brought in Pete Rose on a free agent contract. Schmidt and Steve Carlton were already there. I don't think it was the first name. I don't even remember what he said, but I don't think it's them. So I'm just not even going to think about that. I'm going to go with, don't remember what letter it was, but Pete Rose.
That'd be correct.
1 for 1.
I thought I'd stump you, to be honest. All right.
No,
that's one on
because,
the board.
Yeah, Pete Rose was a free agent, right? So they had to pay up for a free agent contract.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, his 1980 season wasn't even that good of a season.
Nope.
After getting all that money, not that I was alive, but I've read. Question number 2.
So just to hate to interrupt,
What the
I
hell?
probably could have gotten that without the letters. So maybe we should rethink the format of these questions in between this. I think I probably could have gotten that without it, but just continue doing what you're doing this week.
Fine. No. Next 2, you're not getting options.
God. All right.
This is a competition. I'll give you a worse chance to win. In which offseason did Jason Worth leave the Phillies to join the Nationals on a 7-year, $126 million deal?
Okay, so is the offseason – so is this like offseason in 2 months, the 2020 offseason or the 2023 offseason?
It would be the 2022 offseason still.
Okay, so that would have been
after which season?
So it was definitely.
All right, there's a timer.
2010.
2010 would be correct. Wow, 2 for 2. Okay.
There we go.
That's another tally on the board. Give me 2. All right, final question of the day. Who led the Phillies team in average in 2009?
That's a good one. 2009. No, I don't need the noise. I definitely do not need the noise. All right. No.
You don't want that either?
Oh God, I forgot the correct answer. I just had it and I forgot it. All right, that's a really good one because that could be a ton of people. The only people that I know it's not are Ryan Howard. It's definitely not Ryan Howard. It's definitely not Carlos Ruiz.
What do you want me to tell you? Like, come on.
No, I'm reasoning it out for all of the listeners. So it definitely could have been Chase Utley. I don't think it was. Definitely could have. I know Shane Victorino had a couple 290 seasons in there. Raul Banez was – I don't even know if he was on the team yet. I think he was. Let's go with Jason Worth.
Incorrect.
Who was it?
It would be Shane Victorino.
Damn. I was thinking, what was it, 292 that year or something?
That's exactly what it was. It
was 292. I knew that. Yeah. I knew that. I didn't know it was that year.
Yeah, no, that was a tough question though, because honestly, like my options, all 4 of them, Rollins, Victorino, Utley, or Worth, could be any of them.
Oh, you see, that's literally the 4 names that I was actually considering. Was Placido Polanco on the team in 2009?
I think so, because Feliz left the team after 2008, right?
Yeah, I don't know when he got there, but he was a high average hitter too.
Yeah, he was. He was fun to watch. All right, well, Josh, congratulations. You got 2 out of 3 right. If you were in school, you'd have a 66.66% and have a D. Sucks, but
that's just great. No, I like this segment. I like kind of.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do this every week, and just to end each episode on a light note, and we'll go back and forth, and maybe Josh will buy me some tickets.
We'll see. Got anything else before we wrap it up here?
No, I'm excited to watch Aaron Nola, Zack Gallen tonight. Everyone pray for good health from our pitchers because Lord knows we need them. And that's it for me.
Do you know what high school Zack Allen went to?
Ooh, give me like 1 second. It's Jersey, right?
Yep. Good baseball school.
Augustine?
Nope. I should have just done this on the trivia next week.
Yeah. Who is it?
Bishop Eustace.
That's where Smeltzer went.
Yeah, no, Bishop Eustace produces some serious baseball talent. Good baseball.
I was gonna guess that, but like Smeltzer went there. Like,
yeah, 2013.
Wow.
I want to say he graduated, so that's cool. Hopefully he'll go easy on us because he was probably a Phillies fan. But we'll see.
Yeah. Let's rock him.
Alrighty, well, that should do it for this episode. If you are listening on Spotify, give us a 5-star rating. Follow us on all of our socials, The Double Switch, at The Double Switch on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And follow Pick Swap Media Group, our parent company, who's coming out with all kinds of Phillies content for you guys. Eagles, Sixers, both of those seasons are coming up as the Phillies are wrapping down. So you guys are going to need stuff to listen to. Throw them the follow and throw them the listen, YouTube and Spotify. That'll do it.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening.
All right.